Hi, so we're back. We're on day 3, and today I am going to be emptying out my pots. I have hanging baskets, and I have some pots on the front step here, and I'm going to be emptying out most of these plants, and again putting these on the lawn, letting Jamie run over them with the lawnmower. That part has been working out really well, actually. So we'll probably continue to do that. But I want to save these geraniums and I want to overwinter them. So I actually have a geranium here that the deer ended up yanking out when they were eating the leaves off of the geranium. So what I'm going to do is I brought out some little pots. I have a bucket with already mixed soil and compost, and I am just going to put this geranium, I'm going to dump out a little bit more of this soil, put the geranium into the soil, and then I'm going to add some more soil around it. And I have a flat here to hold all my geraniums in. Now I have about 12 geraniums, but it got really cold last night. It was 0 -1. So the ones that are on the deck are right out in the elements, and I'm not sure how they are going to fare. And because it is so cold, I am just gonna wait and see once the sun has went onto the deck and then kind of thawed things out. Then I'll see whether they're still viable and whether it's worth taking them. Now I'm also going to take off any dead leaves. I'm not sure if this one's even going to make it because the deer ripped it right out. And I don't know how long it's been sitting there, ripped out of the ground. But I'm gonna try. I mean, that's all I can do is try. So I will get another one because I have, I think I have 3 geraniums here at the front step. So I'll just put in a little bit of dirt in the bottom. The rest of these plants, I am just going to get rid of them. I'm not keeping anything else. I've had probably the most success in overwintering the geraniums. Now these blooms, I'm just going to remove the blooms and remove any of the dried up leaves on this one. And I've got a compost bucket right here. I'm going to pack that into the pot, and I will add some more dirt around the geranium. I'm going to pack it pretty full because this dirt will settle once I start watering it. And to overwinter these, I'm just going to keep them down in the basement. I put them on a table in front of my patio doors that I have downstairs in the basement, and I just put these on the tray in front of that window downstairs, and I only water these like every 2 weeks. I don't give them a ton of water. That's all they need to overwinter them. Now I've got another geranium over here where the deer have ate the top off of it, but I still have a couple of leaves on it that will probably be fine. So let's get a little bit of dirt. I'll get my shovel, dig this one up, and then I'll be able to show you what I mean. See what the deer did? They ate everything off of the top. I got like 2 little leaves, 3 leaves here. And so there still is a root system on here. I'm gonna put it right in my pot. And then I'll just add the dirt. I'll add some of this good soil, because it's a mix of the garden soil and compost. And I'll just pack that down a little bit. Put that there. And I think I only have one more here in this planter here. It's a fairly big geranium, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm just going to remove the flowers off of it right now. A red geranium, as you can see from the flowers. And get my shovel to dig it up. I was removing a bunch of decorating, garden decorations from where my raised beds are. So I got those removed. I also cut the zap straps that we had holding up our cattle panels that we use for the raised beds. So I cut some of the zap straps because we are going to be moving stuff around. So that's a nice geranium. And I'm just going to put that in there. I'll hold it with this hand and add some dirt. At least I know I have 4 geraniums. I'm also going to be going around and digging up any dahlia bulbs. I started the dahlias from seed in the spring, and they actually flowered and did really good. Last year I tried doing dahlias and they didn't even flower. This year they flowered really nice. So I want to lift up those bulbs, the dahlia bulbs, and I'm gonna overwinter them so that next year all I have to do is start the bulbs instead of having to do it from seed. Okay, so the rest of this is going to go into my wheelbarrow. I'm going to take the plants out first, and then, so I'm just going to pull the plants out. Shake off as much of the dirt as I can off of the roots. And I'm going to put these plants in this wheelbarrow. And then the rest of this dirt, we're just going to add that to the compost as well. And then we just get more garden soil in the spring, and we'll mix the garden soil with the compost. And that's how we'll plant the plants for next year. Okay, so that's one planter. I've got quite a few planters here in the front, and then I've got my whole flower bed in the front as well. So all of this stuff is coming out, and it will all be shredded and put into the compost. I just wanted to show you, I ended up getting 13 geraniums from all my flower pots. And these were, most of them were on the deck, and I couldn't do any work out on the deck, so I had to bring all the pots to the front of the house and do it at the front of the house because Jamie's putting the siding on the back of the house on the deck. So I've cleaned out all the flowers in the front of my house, and I've left behind these dahlias. And what I'm going to do is lift the plant up and I lifted this one up. This was in one of my planters, and I lifted it up, and it has these little tubers at the base of the plant underneath in the ground, and these are the tubers that I want to lift up, and then I'm going to let them dry, and then I will put them into a paper bag with some pine shavings to overwinter them. So I'm just going to grab this dahlia, and I'm going to dig underneath it to lift up that bulb. And so I'll just clean the dirt off of it, and as you can see, there are the tubers for the dahlia. And I'm just have this open tray, and I'm just going to put it in there and let them dry. And I have a couple more here. I want to get down deep enough that I'm not going to snap the tuber off in the ground. This one. Oh, this isn't even one. This is a snapdragon. Oh, geez. Okay, that's going in the wheelbarrow. Forget that. That wasn't the one I wanted. Here I was being all gingerly and delicate about it, and I didn't even want that one. This one over here. This is a dahlia. So we'll go underneath it, lift it up, and again, you see the tubers there from the dahlia, and we'll save those and plant them again in the spring. And I have one over here, and I have another one right here. This one only had one big one and a little tuber on it. And then I'll dig up this one over here. I'll just turn you a little bit so you can see. And there's this one in the corner. Get my tag out. Just collecting my tags as I dig stuff up. These were all my dahlia tags, so I'll keep those. Okay, I got one more in the back here. And it just has a one little tuber on it, but that'll grow in the spring. So those were the ones that I had all in my front yard, in the front flower bed. So if we take a look, this is my rose. It's a little mini rose. I leave that over winter. This one here is my columbine, and I will leave that in the ground over winter. These here plants that are missing the leaves, that is my hollyhocks, and the deer have just cleaned all the leaves off. This is a biennial, and it didn't flower this year, but it will flower next year. So biennial is every 2 years. I have a few of the hollyhocks. There's one there. I have a couple in behind there that didn't flower. And then I have another little one in amongst those rocks right there. That's another hollyhock, sorry. Okay, here we go. My aerial view of my garden. So now I just have carrots and beets in those two beds. I've left only perennial flowers in that center flower garden. I actually do have some parsley in there too, but I'm going to harvest that and dry it and bring it inside. Those two beds, that is where I planted my garlic, and I did do a separate video about planting my garlic, which will follow. Then if we come down here, I have all of my beds are emptied except for those last two 4x8. I still have my rutabagas, my celery, and my kale in those beds, and those are still good for a few more days before it gets really cold. So just having a little aerial view of my garden, and this is pretty much the last look of what it'll look like before the snow comes. And then if I come over here onto this side, there I have my cabbages are left, and I will be picking those out. There's my bed that I picked out my sweet potatoes, my corn, spaghetti squash, and then down along this side I still have some more cabbages. Those are split cabbages, so I will be picking those. That's the one last cheddar cauliflower, another gold Chinese cabbage, and then that's the celery plant, and that's all still has to come out of my garden. Of my 3 days of getting things pulled out of my garden and getting things ready for the winter, I thought I was going to have a bit more time to be able to show you how I get my strawberry bed ready for the winter. I just pulled out all the weeds, took out all these hoops from over my strawberry plants, and I've just ran out of time, and so I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, throw in a like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I just wanted to throw a shout out there for Jake, my son's partner. We just found out he just passed away, and it's Sunday at 3 o'clock, and he has just passed away, and at least he is not in pain anymore, but he will be deeply missed. Thanks again, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.